I can raise my desk. Awesome. So that's the whole point. We'll just cover it. Where's that voice coming from? Let me tell you. All right, good evening. Welcome to the Vancouver City Council inaugural meeting of Monday, November the 7th, 2022. This council meeting is being convened by electronic means as authorized under Part 14 of the Procedure Bylaw, the City of Vancouver electronic meetings. As such, council members may participate in person or by electronic means. If a council member attending by electronic means loses connection during the voting process, staff are available to get you back online quickly while the voting process is suspended. The staff contact information has been circulated to you. Video of council members speaking, presentations, and vote results will be projected on the live stream when available. Council members are reminded that, in accordance with Section 14.13 of the Procedure Bylaw, members must enable their video to confirm quorum. We acknowledge that we are on the unceded homelands of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh people. We thank them for having cared for this land and look forward to working with them in partnership as we continue to build this great city together. I also want to take a moment to recognize the immense contributions of the City of Vancouver staff who work who work incredibly hard every day to help make our city an incredible place to live, work, and play. Clerk, may we have the roll call, please?
Mayor Sim is in the chair. Councillor Carr. Councillor Kirby-Young. Councillor Dominato.
Present.
Councillor Bly.
Present.
Councillor Boyle.
Present.
Councillor Fry.
Here.
Councillor Montague.
Here.
Councillor Klassen.
Here.
Councillor Meisner.
Present.
And Councillor Zhou.
Present.
You have quorum, Mayor Sim.
Great. Any comments on agenda items can be sent to the council using the web form on the city's website. The link to that form will be tweeted out on @VanCityClerk. I also want to note the City of Vancouver's longstanding commitment to equity, diversity, and inclusion, including the utmost respect for all genders. I remind council that when addressing speakers and staff, we will avoid using gendered honorifics and will instead refer to the person by first and last name, role, or title. So this afternoon, the members of this council took their oaths of office at the Orpheum Theatre and assumed the responsibilities for which they were elected. On a personal note, I do just want to say I'm incredibly excited to work with all of you, standing shoulder to shoulder. I'm really proud to be in this room with you, and I've gotten to know pretty much all of you on a personal basis. Some of you 4.5 years ago, some of you, 6 months ago, and I can tell you, the city of Vancouver is in great hands. While we may disagree on certain things, I can tell you the spirit of intent of every single person in this chamber is absolutely remarkable. And I think it's going to be a great 4 years. So thank you. Okay, so back to the script. At that event, as is traditional, I gave the mayor's inaugural address. A video of the inaugural ceremony will be on the city's website later today. So now we have 6 communication items before us for consideration. Communication 1 contains staff recommendations for the 2023 council meeting schedule. Is there a mover for the recommendation? Okay, Councillor Kirby-Young. Councillor Bly, second. Is there any discussion? Seeing no one on the queue to speak, that's actually correct. The clerk will now take us to the voting queue. Council, please register your vote on the panel. Oh, I think we're good. Oh, sorry. Sorry, just learning a new system. All right, it looks like we have 11-4, not against. Great, it passes. Okay, communication 2 contains my recommendations for appointments of acting mayors, deputy mayors, and councillors to represent council for November, December, and January. I will move those recommendations. Is there a seconder? Sorry, who was that? Councillor Montague, thank you. Is there any discussion? Councillor Carr, you have the floor.
Thank you very much. Yes, I just had a couple of questions, Mayor Sim. So normally I've seen a roster that goes for a full year, like 12 months, and noted that, of course, this only goes for 3 months. So I'm wondering if you could just perhaps indicate so we can all know what to expect. Are you intending to assign counselors, including all counselors, to these roles over the course of a year?
The answer is absolutely yes. It is our intention to make sure that everyone goes through the full rotation.
Right. And thank you. That's great. And secondly, do you have a sense of the timeline when you might announce that? Because many of us would plan family holidays based on when we're not on duty.
That's actually a great question as well. So the reason why we only came up with 3 months is because we actually haven't had the conversations with everyone to make sure it works. And so, this all came together very, very quickly. It's been quite a unique experience. Working on transition with the 2.5 week period with no infrastructure whatsoever. But we look forward to chatting with everyone to make sure that it works for everyone's family needs and what have you.
Thank you. And I do have one final question, but maybe it's through you to the city manager. And that is in terms of the duties of the acting mayor versus deputy mayor versus duty councillor. I'm wondering if staff can inform us whether the information we received in a previous term around acting mayor, which was that acting mayor has the legal responsibility associated with the mayor and needed to be in town or in the region and couldn't be traveling abroad, if that is still the expectation from staff.
Sure. Is that
Thanks, Mayor Sim. Thanks for the question, Councillor Carr. So yes, the acting mayor would stand in for the mayor in a circumstance where the mayor is out of town or incapacitated or no longer in office. So that is the role, and it would probably be in a case of emergency or some other urgent need.
Okay.
We're happy to follow up with council as well with more detail on those roles, such as we understand them, if that would be useful.
Great. Thank you. Those are my questions. Happy to support.
Thank you very much. Are there any other questions? No? Okay, so seeing no one else on the queue to speak, the clerk will now take us through the voting queue. Council, please register your vote on your panel. All right, it looks like we have another 11-0 vote. This is great. Okay, communication 3 contains my recommendations for appointments to council committees. This includes the role of chair and vice chair for both standing committees, as well as members for a nomination subcommittee and members for an auditor general committee, all for a term from today, November the 7th, 2022 through to October 31st, 2023. I will move those recommendations. Is there a seconder? Councillor Dominato, is there any discussion? No. Seeing no one in the queue to speak, the clerk will now take us to the voting queue. Council, please register your vote on the panel. Right. So carried. Item 4, communication 4 contains my recommendations for the appointment of council representatives to regional bodies for the period of today, November the 7th, 2022 through to the end dates noted in the communication. I will move those recommendations. Is there a seconder? Councillor Bly, is there any discussion? Okay, seeing that no one is in the queue to speak, the clerk will now take us to the voting queue. Council, please register your vote on your panel. Okay, so I notice we have 10 in favor and Councillor Fry abstained. So the motion passes. Okay, communication 5 contains my recommendations for the appointment of council representatives to boards, statutory committees, and nonprofit societies for the period November the 7th, 2022 through to October 31st, 2023. I will move those recommendations. Is there a seconder? Councillor Klassen, thank you very much. Is there any discussion? Seeing no one in the queue once again, the clerk will now take us to the voting queue. Council, please register your vote on your panel. Okay, and so we have 10 in favor and Councillor Fry has abstained. So the motion passes. Communication 6 contains my recommendations for the appointments to the Intergovernmental UNDRIP Task Force. I will move those recommendations. Is there a seconder?
Second, Lenny Joe.
Councillor Joe, thank you very much. Is there any discussion? Seeing no one in the queue to speak, the clerk will now take us to the voting queue. Council, please register your vote on your panel. Okay, 11-4, so the motion passes. Now, adjournment. May we have a motion to adjourn? Motion. All right, seconder. Dominato, Councillor Dominato, thank you very much. All those in favor say yay. Yay. Opposed? This meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.